Hey, Chris, you just about 25-30 second dead key. Hey, 944.
WRUV-824 online monitoring. Mobile on Kuiper.
All right, guys, about 5 minutes we'll get started. About 5 minutes.
Hey guys, the Zello link is cross-linked between the 411 and the 700. Just thought I'd let you guys know. WRJN 394.
Appreciate it, 394. WRT 516. 906, can you fix that?
It looks like it's fixed now. I don't see it in the 700 anymore. WRJN 394.
I appreciate that, 394.
Not a problem.
Did the channel announcements go through anybody else's notes or just mine?
What was that? 208?
That if the nodes announcement, Tone, you got the 411 cross link with the 700.
I was just told by Illinois that it's been corrected.
It's been corrected. I
put it in there. WRW 556.
Connected to 700.
They're about 5 seconds behind on transmissions. Tony fixed it for us.
Hey, Tony, the 411 is now in the 700. Did you mean to do that? Oh, okay, just checking. WRJN 394.
When you first brought it up, I think it was a mistake, and I said might as well just put it in there, so I go ahead and drug it over in there. I'll watch it. I'm good. It's all yours, Sean. WRAW 556. Thank you, Ryan.
Not a problem. WRJN 394.
All right, everybody. I think all the repeaters and everything has done all their announcements and gotten ready. So I will go ahead and welcome everyone to the first Shoot the Shack Net hosted by the Lone Wolf System. I am WRTE 516 Sean from the Lone Wolf System. This is an informal net. Please identify with your call sign and your preferred name on your first key, but feel free to use regular names thereafter. We only ask that you follow 3 rules. Number 1 is please keep it PG-13 and be respectful of others and their opinions. Not all of us are going to agree. Number 2 is please allow 2 seconds between keys to help avoid the double keys and allowing the repeaters to key up as well as the Zillow gateways. They take a little bit longer. Number 3, which is going to be the biggest one, is absolutely no religion, politics, or race. And that's going to be a 0 tolerance, and you'll be asked to leave the net if that comes up. Other than that, this week's topic is basic node setup and equipment. Is there anyone that has a particular question to start off with before we start going over the basic stuff? Okay, with nothing heard, we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to ask Tony, first of all, what are the 3 or 4 basic things that you need to get started on this other than getting your node numbers from support@gmrslive.com? That's a good point. The the most basic things for me, as I feel, is going to be your radio, your sound card, and your Pi, or whatever means you're using to connect your sound card to the network. Most common is going to be a Raspberry Pi 3B Plus, a sound card. A lot of us use the RIM Max Tracks from Repeater Builder, and a type Max Track radio, because it is about the best, I think, basic way to set up a node.
Well, I'll follow up with that too. Yeah, you're right. The Raspberry Pi is the best and most common way, but I don't know if you heard the other day that I successfully took just a standard small mini IBM class computer with the Intel Celeron processor in it and put a node on it, and my repeater ran on it, and then I put Zello on it, and the Zello's going through it right now. So it's just a standard small computer. I'm going to experiment next with, I got a little mini laptop, and I'm going to experiment with that. I guess all of them won't work because there's some software that won't run on some of them that need to. Dotty software won't run, but yeah, people are surprised that it don't have to be a Pi. Everybody assumes that it has to be a Raspberry Pi, and it does not have to be a Raspberry Pi. It could be just about any kind of small computer. Yeah, big computer if you want to leave a power-hungry computer running a big, large one running all the time. It could even do it too, but there's a multitude of ways of getting connected.
WRD. I was just curious, when you got it running on the IBM on the Celeron, did you use just this basic Debian OS, or did you use like the ISO from the ham version or something like that? Like I did. I'm
I don't know if we're doing right how you want to do this, Sean, or not. Yeah, the trick to that is Supermon and Asterisk are two different animals, and they have to be able to talk to each other. If they're on the same machine, then yeah, it's not that hard to do. I don't know if we're going to go into it here or not, but you got to have the exact same the password and everything the same in Supermon as you do in Asterisk, and it'll work. That's what we're using up on the cloud. Our Supermon and our Asterisk are on two different machines, and they talk to each other across the local network and all that neat stuff. But yeah, I'm going to do a how-to, I think, and I want to do a script on how to do all that. We haven't even really delved into the Supermon side of it, but I'd be more than happy to through email. And we're pretty busy. Sometimes you might get a delay in the emails, but I'll be more than happy to help you out with that.
No, this is exactly what this is. This is an informal how-to, and anybody that's out there, if you have questions, please ask. Tony is kind of our Yoda, but I'm sure there's a lot of other people that have set up and either failed or succeeded and know how to. So that's what this is for. We're trying to pass on knowledge and teach and learn.
Sean, let me correct you there for a second. Tony is our Obi-Wan. Ramon is our Yoda.
I was just going to call for you. You have done a lot of trial and error and made a lot of mistakes and made a lot of things work that weren't necessarily supposed to out of repetition and not giving up. But what would you recommend as a basic hardware to get started once you have node numbers and your license and everything else, if you want to get into linking?
Well, I guess the first thing is actually you have to think about what you want to actually do. Once you figure out what you exactly want to do, you want to do a node.
I'm sure there's some questions out there. Does anybody have any basic questions? Programming, simple USB, power supplies. This is kind of a just the basics to get you up and running with a simplex node.
Hey, good evening, guys. This is Hugo, WRUL 448 here in South Florida. I heard you guys talking about just a regular computer. I mean, can a 32-bit computer be used with an older 32-bit desktop machine be used? I realize there's an image for the Raspberry Pi that's used for the creation of these nodes, but can you use a regular standard desktop and then maybe some sort of USB dongle for the transmitter portion or connection? I'm just trying to think outside the box here.
I'm outside walking the dog. I can't see the stats page. I don't want to key on anybody or step out of turn here. WAW556. Yeah, Hugo, that's the correct answer. Yes, you can. Most of the computers are capable of doing that. Like I said, there's a few of them that the old asterisk software that which the radios and everything use won't talk to a part of a how to explain it. I'm not, first thing I should say is I'm not a computer programmer. I'm not an expert. I'm just a dumb old trucker that loves the heck out of this stuff, and I've taught myself through the years. So, yeah, I'm far from being an expert. I wish I was. I'm not a programmer. I write a lot of scripts, but yeah, the answer is most computers are capable of doing it. When you get, when you use a Raspberry Pi, it's using I think it's arched ARM software, I don't know. But the version that goes for All-Star on a computer will run on Debian without a problem. So if you could put Debian on it, then you could run the software on it that does the nodes. And just about almost every computer around will run Debian.
Yeah, copy that. The machine that I'm sorry for not pausing in case somebody wanted to break. I just realized I did that. I have an old machine that I was thinking, someone I could perhaps donate to somebody to create a node inside their home. But the transmitter portion, linking that up, either via USB or however. The question mark I have, and I have MX Linux running it right now, the 32-bit XFCE version with the desktop, the XFCE desktop, And it runs, you know, reasonably well, but like I said, the thing will only be doing one thing, is connecting to the network. But okay, more research, but thanks for the answer. I appreciate it, listening in and trying to learn as much as possible in this conversation. Thanks.
I wanted to chime in. This is Mike and Avon. So the way I got mine working, and I'm sure there's other ways, obviously there's plenty of ways to do it, is I took the ISO file off of the ham side, and it comes with as an ISO, and then you can, you know, burn that into with like Rufus or whatever, and boot off a USB drive or burn a CD or whatever, and you can literally install that, and then once that's installed, I don't know who gave me the files that I needed to change. I think it might have been Tony. Whoever, I emailed the support at GMRS Live, and he showed me the 3 files that needed to be overwritten and what directories. And once I did that, I restarted Asterisk, and the node connected right up, put my node information in and everything. The only thing I couldn't get running was the Supermon, but to be honest, I mean, the core of this is the node, so the Supermon would just be a bonus. But you know, something I'll mess with later. I'm not really worried about right now.
Jack, you keyed up and no audio. WRPW 661, still no audio, Jack.
WRPW 661, listening.
Copy that, Jack, thank you. Mike, you are not running on a machine, are you? You are running on the cloud, correct?
That is correct, sir. So what I do is I got a server that runs virtualization, a Proxmox server, and I got 3 VMs inside there, and I just uploaded the ISO and gave it a public IP. I get a block of, and then I just ran the install like you would run if you were local, and then I changed the 3 files, like the IAX config file and a couple other files. There's an RC file or something I had to change. I found out that I couldn't just copy them over. What I had to do was copy and paste the config text over. When I copied them over directly, and even after I changed the permissions, they wouldn't fire up. So what I did is I just copied the config, copy and pasted it in with Nano, and then that worked for me.
Gotcha. Is there anybody out there that has an outside of the box node set up? Weird radio, weird card. What did you do and how did you make it work?
WRUW242, and I'm running actually the image from All-Star on a regular Dell. It's a Debian-based system, 64-bit, and basically using a little cheap USB sound card with a MUD SAA18 that I reprogram for GMRS frequency. And Supermon, everything is working okay. Seems to be working fine. Actually, this is my first transmission, so hopefully I can actually put this thing in a box and create a little how-to for my brother to make another one.
It actually sounds very good. I think it's working well. Do you want to give us a little rundown on what you did?
Okay, so I have the ISO from Allstar. I grabbed that ISO and basically the little Allstar, they use some Ashari Pi, and basically I bought the components to the transmitter for that by itself that it cost like $12 from China. And set up the transmitter, reprogram the transmitter for a GMRS frequency. That's basically kind of like the hard part. But then after that, I got a $7 sound card from eBay and make the connection. It's a little bit subtle. You have to, do a little electronics in here to get all the connections made for your sound card from the SA818 module to the sound card connected to a USB port. So you're going to have two USB ports from the module to the computer and basically just running the Allstar OS basically that I downloaded from there. Then after that, I did have to actually go manually and change all the configurations. I didn't have any files, so I just had to change the configuration and try until got it working. And like I say, hopefully this is the first one. Hopefully we'll make another one, and most likely we'll write a how-to and go from there. But the plan was making it work on any computer, so you don't have to, and probably $50 worth of part if you have a computer and you're good to go.
That's pretty outside the box. I like that. I look forward to seeing that how-to. Alex, I know you have a weird one. You built the Brian. Do you want to talk about that for a minute?
Well, first of all, they have to know that the Brian is actually sold to ham operators only. I got my hands on it because of another person that bought it, wanted to go through the soldering part, and it was given to me. But all in all, it was actually easy to do because the Brian is actually the sound card. That's pretty much all it is. And I had to take a Baofeng 888, take it apart, take a bunch of pieces out of it, connect a lot of leads, cable leads to it, and then solder those to the Brian board and put it all together. All in all, it was a fun project, even though that it frustrated me for a little bit, but got it working except for just one light. So I consider that a success, and it's been working pretty good ever since. Tone has been putting it through the paces, and it's been on for probably a month or a little bit over a month, and it's been working great for him.
Awesome. Are there any questions out there? It doesn't have to be related. If you have any questions related to GMRS Live or linking or radios or anything of that sort, that's what we're here for, is to try to help and answer questions and pass knowledge on. So if anybody's got any questions, come on up.
WRKV653, I have a question. A connection. It says like COS detected, and it shows what node you're attempting to connect to. I get an error not found in database. Does anyone know where it pulls that information from?
Me. My turn. WRAW556. You're saying you're seeing the error in the status page that says the node's not in the database? That's what you're seeing? Or are you saying you cannot connect and something else is telling you that the node's not in the database?
Well, I can connect just fine. It's just like here where it says right now, it says check in or moderate chat, no parking, hosted by GMRS Live. That's where I'll get the error message saying node not found in database. But I do connect to the node just fine.
Okay, there's a thing in there called ASTDB, that stands for Asterisk Database. There's a program that runs, it depends on where you got your software at, if you did the image yourself or where you did. But what happens is you have to download, well, you either have to put it in yourself or you download the one that GRMS Live gives out that tells whose node number is what, and all it is a text file telling you the node number and what they want to be called. GRMS Live makes that available on their website, and your node should download it automatically. If you was to do a off-the-shelf node, the image or whatever, it's all built into it and everything. If not, you have to physically go in and tell it to download this list and put it on your computer. Then your Supermon uses that list to put everybody's name on there. So if you're looking at the status page GRMS Live is putting out right now, it already has that list put on there, and it shows it. If you're using something that your own, then if your computer hasn't downloaded that list, it's only relying on the list that you already have in your computer, and if you haven't created one, it's not going to say anything. WRW556. Thought I'd reset everything there for a second. So my question to you would be, where did you get your image? Did you create the image? Did you download it from somebody else? Or what image did you use to set up your node?
I've been using the GMRS Live image, and then I kind of got one that's kind of bastardized, but I took a image from another provider because I'm trying to set up a Redivus repeater, and that's where I started getting the problems. Is I tried to adapt their image to the GMRS Live so I could put a repeater up on this, and that's one of the issues I was running into. Is that looks like that would just be a copy and paste to populate that.
Yeah, it would whoever you got it from, you're more than welcome to do that, but you're going to run into some problems. Out of all them images, it's all the exact same software. The main basic software, be it All-Star, MyGRMS, GRMS Live, them couple garage bands out there that's doing things at Octane or whatever, that they're just have some hubs up, but they all use the exact same software installed the exact same way. Everything's the same. Nothing is any different. The only thing that is different in it is the configuration files. All-Star is not software, the ham side. All-Star is a service, just as GRMS Live is a service and the other one other one, but they're all just services. So they all use the exact same software. All of the software could talk to each other. It's all the same. The only difference is the configuration file. So when you took one from another service and you're trying to convert it over, there's tons and tons and tons of stuff in them things that are pointing to different places. You know, Ham VoIP does their version of it, All-Star does their version of it, other people do their versions, and there's stuff pointing all over the place. Well, that's just one app that you didn't convert over to point at the GRMS Live stuff. And it's in the USR local SBIN directory, and the program's called ASTDB.php. And you got to change in there from pointing to whoever service you got the image from. You got to have it point towards the GRMS Live database.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. I didn't know. This is kind of my first dive into all of this, and it has definitely been a learning experience on trying to find exactly what files I need to modify. But that puts me in the direction I needed to go. I do appreciate that. Thank you.
All right, no problem. I mean, like I say, all the software is the exact same as the configuration. Some of the people out there make images for different, I don't want to step on toes, but some of the different services, you say you got it for an image for a different service. Well, I mean, you could do that, but it's a lot of change to do, a lot. But some of them don't allow you to change some of the software. What they do is they have a root password that, let's see something going on here. They have a root password, and they lock the software down, and you can only do certain things to it and stuff. Our image, nothing's locked, nothing's hidden. There's no nothing in there. So you're better off, if you're going to use the GRMS Live service, to use the GRMS Live image and then change that to be whatever you need it to be.
We don't care if you're listening, hanging out, or just monitoring. We're just glad you're here. Welcome to GMRS Live.
And excuse that, normally the 700 is not in the 401, and that's turned off in the 411, so that was coming from the 700, and I'll make sure it don't do that again.
Turns out I just actually created a bigger one, so that file location, again, that was in user local sbin, is that correct?
Yes, sir. USR local sbin, the name of the file is astdb.php. I think the GRMS Live webpage has a copy of that up there that you could just cut and paste in there and give it permissions. And what happens is they have that run every day at 3. I guess I should have said that. That file is updated anytime anybody changes their name or when new node numbers or anything come out. And then GRMS Live updates that file every 6 hours on their service. And then the majority of the PIs downloads that file at 3 o'clock in the morning. So if any changes happen, or if it will happen on your Pi at 3 in the morning. If you have an image from GRMS Live or Ham VIP or anything like that, and you change it to point at the GRMS Live stuff, it'll download in between 3 and 3:30 in the morning, your local time, or if you restart the Pi, or if you force that program to run, that script to run. So that's the 3 ways it does it. It either does it on a cron job at 3 o'clock in the morning, or when you start your computer, or if you go in and physically tell it to run.
Is that by any chance that one cron job on the cron tab? Is that one cron job that runs every 5 minutes in there? I always wondered about it.
You're welcome, sir. I keyed on you, and I think that was Alexander. That cron job. If you have an old image from GRMS Live, there's one in there that used to run a DY DNS server, and it runs every 5 minutes. But you don't need that anymore. If it runs, it runs. If it don't, it don't. You're not hurting anything. But that's what it is. That's when GRMS Live first started out, it was something that had to be done to make it work before we had the registration server, but now the registration server took all that over.
Yeah, that's exactly the one that I was talking about, that it does run every 5 minutes or something like that. So you say that one is, it's okay to uncomment that one, just with the pound sign in front of it, or delete it completely off of it. Not that it's bothering me.
Yeah, that's fine. You could delete it completely off the computer. It's not needed anymore. Every 5 minutes, it just ran a small program that updates your IP address with, I think it was called DuckDNS. And we was using that for a multitude of things when GMRS Live first started, but it's no longer required, and it's not on any of the newer images at all. So yeah, if you have one of the older ones and it's got that in the cron job that calls DuckDNS script every 5 minutes, yeah, you're probably better off deleting it. The script is in, I don't even know where it is anymore, but you don't even need the script anymore, but it's no big deal. It could just sit there in the corner. It's so tiny, it won't affect your computer or anything. And Sean, I don't know if I kind of hijacked you here or whatever, so back to you, sir.
Nope, this is exactly what we were hoping for. We are passing along information and bettering the system by doing so. So that's what this is all about, and I appreciate all your help, Tony.
Oh, not a thing. I live, sleep, and eat and breathe this right now, so I really enjoy talking about it. And you're doing a good thing, because one person might be doing one thing, and another person might be doing something else. Somebody else might have found a better way to do it, and you know, reinvent the wheel, I guess they call it, or what have you. Or somebody might be out there and it might answer a question they didn't even know they had, that later on down the line they're going to be going, oh yeah, I remember hearing about that. That's how I taught myself stuff, that I would just read a book and I'm like, I don't have a clue what these people are talking about. And then 6 months from now, I'll be like, I read something about that, and I'll go back and find it and read it again. Then it all makes sense to me. But at the time I read it, I'm like, I don't have a clue.
WRDZ 827. I just wanted to let you fellows know something I was working on this week. I had a little time, so I went down the rabbit hole and decided that I was going to try and create a Docker image with just to run a standalone node where you could just type Docker Compose up and bring a node up. But when I was doing the Docker build, I ran into a problem when it's tried to compile, I guess, the ASL dandy configs from the repo, and it just would fail. So I don't think it's quite we can quite do it in Docker yet, but that may be something in the future. This could be a really good possibility.
Now I'm the one with no out. Here we go, that's better. Alrighty, I do have a question. Well, actually, I have a statement. The support at GMRS Live email is just that. It is support. Kind of a one-man band, and it may take a while to get back to you, but if you guys have any questions and you email support at gmrslive.com, you will get an answer. It may take a little while, but you will get an answer, and it will be detailed. Is there anybody out there using Motorola radios for their nodes or repeaters that has any tips and tricks on the CPS software and sometimes things not wanting to play well with each other, especially with newer Windows and having to go back to XP on the older versions of programming software?
And I wish I have two Motorola radios, CDM 750s, that I can't get to work.
I'm going to chime in here. This is WRDZ 827. Mike and AP. I don't know if this would work or not, but it's worth a try because I don't have a radio to test with, obviously. But we used to run because I'm an IT guy, and we had a lot of problems with compatibility issues. What you could try doing is download VirtualBox and install like a Windows 7 OS in a VM, and then pass through your serial port, whatever your port is for your programming cable, pass that through to the VM and run your programming software inside of the VM. That may be a way that you could, I'm just trying to think a little outside the box, but I would maybe try that, or install Windows XP, find an ISO Windows XP, install it inside the VM, and then install your programming software inside the VM, and then pass through your serial cable that you're using to program your radio.
I did not catch the name of the person with the 750s. What is your problems, and what are you trying to do with them?
It's coming in from Max in Napa, Idaho. And I agree, Max. Oh, a little information is, are you talking about you can't get it to work with the network through your hub? Or are you talking you can't program the radios?
Yeah, this is WRKV653 in Nampa. Yeah, I was just chiming in that, hey, I feel your pain. I have the two radios that I tried to use the repeater builder, RIM, what is it, Max Tracks? I don't remember the exact name of it, but I couldn't get it to work, and then I found out you need CPS software, and then the CPS I couldn't get because it's proprietary, and Motorola doesn't support it, and no one sells it, and so I kind of got two radios that are now officially dead that were supposed to be kind of a plug and play according to this repeater builder.
Boy, are you in luck, because we have a lot of Motorola experience.
Well, what you have to realize, and I always tell everybody, baby steps. Don't look at your connection with an idea of, like I was picking on Alex there the other day. If you have a flat tire on you have a flat tire on your car, you don't go and adjust the carburetor. There's nothing wrong with the carburetor. Or don't mess with the carburetor until you fix the tire. Then if the car don't go, find out why it won't. And that's the same thing with the radios. The radios, the Motorola's and everything, they are plug and play and ready to go. The only thing is that they usually don't have COS, or some people call it COR, turned on, and you got to get that turned on to get it outside the radio so the network knows you're talking. So yeah, you get with Sean and them guys up there, they're really good at it with the Motorola's and everything, and getting them all programmed up and everything, but you got to do baby steps. You got to make sure your radio works, that you could talk to it with another radio. And you got to make sure you have the COS that'll come out of the back of the radio. Before you even look at a Raspberry Pi, a sound card from that repeater builders or anything else, make sure the radio's right. Make sure you could talk to the radio could talk back to your portable or whatever you're going to be using, and that you have COS. When you have that out of the radio, when the radio will supply that for you, then you worry about getting it connected to the sound card. And when you do that in baby steps also. Don't try to do the whole sound card at once. Do baby steps. Do one thing. Can you get the sound card to key the radio? Okay, I got the sound card to key the radio. Can you get the radio to key the sound card? Once you get it, hook up your audio lines, and you're good to go. But don't overwhelm yourself by trying to do the radio and the sound card and the Pi and everything all at once, because you'll have nothing but a headache, and it'll take you 5 times as long.
Okay, so it's probably the COS signal that I'm not getting. because if I disconnect the radios and I just go like handheld to mobile, I can talk, or I can go from mobile to mobile and I can communicate between them. So it's probably that COS signal that it's not getting to key the sound card.
Break. Like Tony was saying, baby steps. Let's get some more information real quick. Have you found a CPS software for that radio? Because it is not going to work in what we would call a gateway mode. You can program it and tell it to do so. We're going to have to start with CPS and get you set up with CPS, and then from there, it's a breeze.
Yeah, that's going to need to be my first step. I do not have CPS. What I was doing is I just took it down to a local radio shop, and I paid them $50, and they supposedly got it taken care of for me. But I do not have the CPS.
Alex?
If you go to our website, you can go to the Zello page on the website, and there's a form there that you fill out for the Zello channel. But use that and send me an email through there and remind me exactly what is it that you need. The only thing that you have to change from the 750 or the CDM, it's like Tony said, you have to go into a certain place in there and tell one of the pins what to do. Actually, 3 of them, what to do. Without that, yeah, the radio's going to be dead on the water. It's not going to work. But once you change those 3 pins, after that, you just connect the cable, the sound card to it, and you will be ready to go. But yeah, just lonewolfsystem.org. Look for the Zello page on it and send me an email through there.
All right, copy that. I will get that out with a reminder of what our discussion was about.
And if you took it to a radio shop, 9 chances out of 10, when you walked in there and you told them, hey, I want this working and everything, they had no idea that you was wanting to do what you was wanting to do or what have you. I mean, you might even be able to touch back with them and say, you know what I needed was COS on pin 8 out of the back of the radio. Because they physically have to go into that menu and turn that on. And 99.9% of the people, when they take a radio to have it tuned or aligned or anything worked on it or frequencies put or anything, they're not wanting pin 8 turned on out of the back of the radio. Usually the push-to-talk's out of there, turned on already. The audios are out of there. Everything's all there except for the COS. So that's 90% of the time what it is. And like I say, if you was in that business or whatever and somebody said come in and tune this up, you're just assuming that they're just wanting the radio tuned up. You physically have to tell the person you want COS out of the back of the radio to that connector turned on to pin 8, and they'll go, oh, okay. And it's as easy as just plugging in the radio, read the radio, turn on that connection, write the radio, and unplug the radio. I mean, if it's a regular radio shop, it shouldn't take them 30 seconds to do it. And that's probably your thing. Yeah, Alex could help you get it all set up, I'm sure. But if not, I mean, I would call that radio shop and say, this is what I really needed. Can you guys do this for me? And they should do it for no charge for you.
By the way, I was going to add to what I said. If you're going to do it yourself, you're going to need a cable for it. It's going to be, Sean can probably correct me because I think he was the last one that bought one. But it's either 20-something or 30-something for the cable. But it will program any CDM, and there's other few radios that same cable will program. You do not want a cable that has a prolific chip in it. There's a person on eBay that all of us buy our cables from. His name is Blue Max 49ers. He's on eBay, and that's all he sells. He only sells cables for radios, and he has the cable for that radio. And we can tell you that once you buy that cable, the first time you use it, it's gonna work. You try a prolific cable, believe me, throwing it, it's gonna be cheaper, and you're gonna end up throwing it on the ground and cussing from dusk to dawn because you bought that cable.
Real quick, I wanted to break in there. We've actually talked with the 49ers guy, I believe his name is Tim. He has directed us to his website. His website is bluemax49ers.com. And when you buy the cable, you can also download the CPS software that you need to work on that radio. So when you're adding the item to your cart, you can also add the software to your cart, and it will send you an email with the zip file for the CPS software.
Well, that's even better. One-stop shopping. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and like Sean said, go to his website. Don't buy it off of eBay. It's the same person, but his eBay store is not connected to his website store. So if you buy it off of eBay and then you go, oh, I need the software, and you go to his website, you can't get the software. You got to jump through a bunch of hoops, call him and everything, and it's just a big mess. If you go to his website and order it, then his website will know that you're an actual customer, and they'll take care of you. He's a real nice guy. But make sure you go to his website, and it's available on eBay, but you're better off buying it straight from his website. It's also a couple dollars cheaper for the actual item and the shipping if you go through the website, not to mention the free software. He is also not Motorola specific, and he is also not programming cable specific. He makes a plethora of different types of cables for the GMRS and ham radio community. All kinds of different brands, repeater harnesses, controller cables, all kinds of stuff. The guy's got a wealth of knowledge, just like Scott from Repeater Builder. The guys really do a lot to help their individual customers out. Also, hold on, I'm going to reset real quick. On the CDM series radios and the CPS 16, under the radio configuration, there's an accessory pins tab, and there's a drop down. It looks very overwhelming if you're looking at. But if you go to the accessory package in the drop down menu, and you click the Simplex telephone interconnect, it automatically sets the pins to what they need to be to plug in the telephone interconnect, which is what the sound card is. And you're off to the races. It automatically changes all the settings to what they need to be, and you're good to go. We do have a few more minutes here, guys. If anybody has any objections or any more questions, we can either dig deeper into this CPS, or we can go to another question.
there anybody that has any questions that are unanswered that we can help you out with?
This is Mike. I'm just curious. Has any of you guys ever used one of those Shari SA818 boards with a Raspberry Pi for a controller for the GMRS Live? I'm looking at them now. They're like $90 on eBay. I was just kind of curious about them.
If I'm not mistaken, the Shari, just like the Brian, you have to be a ham operator to be able to buy it. They won't sell it to you unless you have a ham call sign.
Just kind of curious because I see the shipper on eBay. He's not even from the States. He's from China. So I don't know if it's a knockoff one. They're reverse engineering a lot of stuff now. So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, they're all basically the same. They're a CM108 or 119 sound card, and it's just printed out to take the audio out of the sound card, put it into the radio, and the push to talk is used by the volume controls and the mute buttons and stuff like that, as if it was just a regular headset being plugged into it. It's really not that difficult. Sean, one other thing I wanted to bring up, if I could, I got one other topic, if it's all right.
Absolutely, sir. That's what this is all about. This is informal, so you got the floor.
Thanks, WRIW556. Audio levels. It's the most overlooked thing that happens. People go and they do a sound card and they get it hooked up to their radio and it won't work, and they change this wire and change that wire, and they spend 5 million hours on it, and they finally get it. And they're like, yay, people could hear me, I could talk and everything else. They never set the audio levels On the image that comes for GMS Live, they have the simple USB and tune in there, and it has an audio level that you can see what you are saying into the network. What comes out of the network to you is your business, and it's not really that hard to set. And everything comes out pretty much the same, so it's just for your choice or whatever. But going into the network, it makes a big difference. Some people go in real hot, some people go in real soft. You can't hear them, and then you got one person, you got to turn your radio up to hear them, then you got to turn it down. 90% or 95% of the people on the network have theirs tuned in, and they're really good. DV switch, people are using it on IAX, RPT, DV switch and Zoiper and stuff like that. DV switch is usually really, really, really hot. You need to, when you go in and you program your, let me reset please. When DV switch goes into asterisk, asterisk has no way to set the audio levels. When you use a radio into asterisk, your USB sound card has audio levels. The radio there's no way to change the radio. You do it all with your USB sound card. But when DV switch goes into asterisk, it's a whole different module going into asterisk. So your audio levels are set by your telephone or your computer. And I've found that you want to turn your microphone input on DV switch down to at least 60%. Right around 60% usually works good, 60, 65. But when you first download DV switch, install it, and put it on your phone and talk, it's at 100%, and you just overdrive everything. So, it's really good that when you can sit and talk on the radio, everybody's at the same audio level. You don't have to turn it up or down. If the wife's in the next room trying to sleep and you got to turn it up to hear one person and turn it down because the other person's about to blow your speaker out of the radio, it's no fun. So if you're going to set up a radio, you're going to set up a USB, you're going to set up asterisk to work with GMS Live or whatever, don't overlook setting up the audio. And if you're in question, get somebody else, get a buddy, get a friend, a neighbor, or just anybody off the shelf, and have them go to the 611 and get a couple, 3 people, and you all talk, take turns talking and say, hey, they all sound the same or whatever, or go through the simple USB and set your audio levels. That's the most overlooked thing that I see.
That is very common, and it's a very good point. I find myself having to do that sometimes when I am monitoring the 700, and there's a lot of people from a lot of different places talking at one time. Sometimes I have to change and alternate my volume. But other than that, it is 8 o'clock, guys, and comments or concerns, please go ahead with them. If not, I'll go ahead and close out and give you guys some information before we leave.
Hey, gentlemen, just wanted to say, very nice format, WRUL 44 here in South Florida, Hugo. A great way of putting this program, and the ability to share insights on how to set up things, especially the first show over the node. Thanks a lot, appreciate it.
Alrighty, guys. Well, I will follow up with our closing. All of us here at the Lone Wolf System would like to thank all of you for coming, and we appreciate you guys being there and listening and contributing and talking and passing on the information. That is what this net is going to be all about. We are going to be informal. There will be no check-ins or anything like that. The topics will change, and the way the topics will change will be we will post a poll on Facebook. So you guys are not not, if you look up the Lone Wolf System on Facebook, you can Facebook and feel free to add your input and any suggestions on what you think our topic should be, and then we will take a poll on it. Everyone is welcome. If we get off topic, I apologize, resetting. If we get off topic, we get off topic, but this is very informal. This is just evening time for people who enjoy talking on radio to get together on a nationwide net and shoot the shack. That's what this is all about. With all that said, I'm going to go ahead and close out the net. Again, all of us at the Lone Wolf System appreciate all of you coming and joining in with us. In 2 weeks, let's see what the calendar says here. Tentatively 2 weeks, we will be back at it. We will post on Facebook, on the GMRS Live page, as well as our pages, an announcement to let you guys know when to come back. Tentatively, it will be the 16th. Try to find another question for that. I'm going to reset again. But other than that, guys, we appreciate you shooting the shack with us, and I hope everyone enjoyed themselves, and hopefully we can do this again with any questions that you guys have. And I also want to take a second to thank Tony, WRAW556, for his knowledge and his all of this. We appreciate what you do.
Whiskey Romeo Oscar, November 85-3, Great Net.
I just want to say Sean and Alex and Tony and Ramon and I don't know who else I missed out there. I'm sure I missed somebody. We appreciate this. It was fun. I liked it. I'm sorry I might have talked a little bit too much. I get carried away sometimes, but good job. We appreciate it. WRAW556.
This is WRDZ 827. Thanks, fellas. Very informative net. Looking forward to the next one. It's WRDZ 827 monitoring.
Well, Sean, I guess we can't blame you. It did not fail. So congratulations, sir. This was your baby, and I guess it will still be your baby from now on.
Copy that. We can take turns. We appreciate it, everyone. We're going to go ahead and close out and go back to our representative hubs. If there's anybody that has any further questions or has any comments or concerns or to know any more information, the 1691 1691 is the Lone Wolf Hub. You're welcome to come in, and we only ask that you announce yourself and participate. That is all, and we will catch you guys on the next one. WRTE 56, Sean, Lone Wolf Systems, St. Cloud.